You're a funny guy, Mayor. Hey, Larry. Hey, everyone. Um, I'm not really building any cars. I'm just kind of tuning up. Yeah, I have a race this Saturday at Hardin Creek at Terry's track, um, which also happens to be a Scorpion layout. So I'm hoping that works to my advantage. His track is a similar layout to mine, but he doesn't have the S turn. He has just a straightaway in that middle section. So, and his is a whiz track, wizard track. Turns are a little bit tighter on the wizard track than they are on a Viper, but so the cars that the classes that they're running, they're mixing it up a little bit. We're not running this class, which is Spec Racer, my Fusion Spec Racer. They are actually running the modified class, which is a new class for our group, which is 2.4 ohm car, level 10 magnet car. Yeah, I'm going to be working on my modified cars as well tonight, tuning them up. I guess I could give myself a thumbs up since I'm watching myself here. Why not, right? Hey, Snuggy. Hey, Beach. Yeah, I know some of you guys have raced on that track before. MCM, hey MCM, not. I have not, and they haven't. I don't think they've raced there since I've been racing with our club. So I think it's been a while because I've been racing for over a year now. I'm not really doing anything exciting other than tuning up some of my cars, getting them ready for Saturday. So I'm just kind of changing pickup shoes where I think they need it, and oiling and cleaning. Yeah, this Saturday. So, um, oops, didn't mean to pull that axle pin all the way out. So I've already cleaned and serviced some of my cars. Like this is my ceramic super stock. I put new pickup shoes on it, cleaned it all up, oiled it. So this is ready to go. This is my primary car. I'm gonna run this body. Hopefully it's a crazy enough colors that I could see it good enough. I've already cleaned one of my backup cars. This one, the pickup shoes were not too bad, so I just cleaned them with the. Hello. The little woman just got home. She worked late tonight. I'm gonna still service this one. These are my three. So I have, well, I really have four of each car, but I have three that I kind of always have ready to run or to give out as loaners. Sometimes people show up that don't have a certain car, so I'm happy to lend them out. But DR1, nah, that's not really my thing, Larry. Hey, Roski. So I am just going to see how this car looks. Kind of clean up my axles here. Get all the old oil out of there, kind of. See if there's any hair and stuff stuck on the axle or gears. This looks pretty clean, actually. This is a 723 gear car for the Spec Racer, although again we're not really running this class apparently. We're going to be running ceramic super. We're going to be running an IROC race, box stock, ceramic super stock, which is this car with the silly sponge tires and ceramic magnets. And we're gonna run modifieds, which are a level 10 car, like a Viper or BSRT. Yeah, I usually wet them with alcohol, and it helps them not leave as much gunk behind. But I just pick it off with my tweezers if I need to. Gonna give this. Sorry, I just lost my connection. Hopefully, you guys could still hear me. I am back here in the garage. I probably about as far away from my router as I can get where I am right now, which is probably not a good thing. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. So this is actually my primary Spec Racer class Fusion. I'm going to replace these pickup shoes, though they're not really horrible, but they got some grooves in them. If I can get this stupid thing to focus, but I almost always put new pickup shoes on for the race. Now, even though this is a new pickup shoe, I still clean it because it gets kind of oxidized just from sitting in the drawer. Wait a minute, this one's not new. I see a groove. I need to dig through my parts here and find an actual brand new one. Yeah, there we go. Oops, I just hit the camera, sorry. Yeah, so even though these are new, I still hit them with my buffer here. I like to get down in this little notch where it locks into the hanger. And you can see how much shinier that is. Do the backside where the spring touches. You definitely want to hold these things tight because they can go flying on you. I do have glasses on, so I have some eye safety, but they're not safety glasses, they're just reading glasses. But I've learned to just make sure I hold it good and tight. It could get a little warm too, so you need to be careful. There we go. That's nice and shiny. Hey, Jim. Hey, Paul. All right, let me put these back on. Okay, that's one. So I got to tell you guys about a discovery I made with my controller and with braking that is really like, it's like, what's the word, an epiphany or something. I mean, it's blown my mind. I discovered this Sunday when I was racing with the guys that I really didn't know how to use my brakes properly, or at least what the brake pot does on the controller. I'll explain that in a minute, but needless to say, I'm pretty excited with what I discovered. I don't know how many of you guys run controllers with sorry, I just wanted to make sure there was enough of that tab sticking through the pickup shoes. Maybe you guys already knew what I discovered, but I always assumed the brakes only came into play when you completely release the trigger, which is true to an extent, but the brake pot, the 100 ohm pot, does. I don't know about that, rookie. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but based on how my cars drove on my track, it was night and day. Like, yeah, I can see how the top guys in my club have been keeping their damn cars on the track, and it's all about knowing how to use your controller properly to your advantage. But like for example, I was running this modified car. Now this is a very fast car. This has a 2.4 ohm NSX turbo arm, level 10 magnet package, and it flies. But it was literally flying off my track. Like I couldn't keep it on the track. This thing runs like a 650 on my dyno. I discovered I just have to turn the brakes way up. They do affect how the car drives, the brake setting, not just when you come off the trigger. When you come off the trigger, I guess that's like total braking, and yes, that affects how far the car will coast when you come completely off the trigger. Like if I turn my brakes all the way up and come off the trigger, the car kind of stops on a dime. If I turn the brakes all the way down, the car will drift a little further before it stops. But I used to keep my brakes just on like anywhere between 2 and 4. And I noticed on my Fusion, I don't know why I turned the brake up accidentally, I think. And yeah, it just makes a big difference. Once I get above 6 on the brake setting, I could also turn the sensitivity up a little bit more when I turn the brake up. And I had my controller on 6 for sensitivity and 6 for brake with my Fusions, and I was flying. I mean, I was not coming off. The car was. It's hard to explain what it does. It kind of slows the car down, I guess, but not really. It just I don't know what it's doing, but it makes the car handle. I don't. I can't believe I'm just discovering this after over a year of club racing. I'm just such a dummy sometimes. I guess I don't know. This is a flexible plastic. It's the blue one. I think this is the more firm one. I have a red one too. That's a little softer. Yeah, exactly, rookie. I mean, yeah, I got no. I think I got these from Viper, but I think Cardin Creek sells them too. But yeah, that setting, I was so my modified car, I had to turn the brakes all the way up to like 9, and I turned the sensitivity. I had the sensitivity up around 6 or a little higher. That was too high, so I was still coming off, but not as much when I turned the brake. I turned the sensitivity down to like 5 and the brakes on 9, and this car was like, it was amazing. I really so yeah, I'm kind of curious and excited to see how this plays out in an actual race. I'll try and show you guys tonight. Maybe I can kind of give an example, but you just have to experience it. Like I know my track and I know where my cars come off, and they just weren't coming off. I was like, wow, what a difference. Okay, so just want to see what the spring tension is on these guys here. 10, it's a little bit low. 8. I'm probably going to adjust that. I like that to be up closer to 15, to be honest with you. 15 or even closer to 20, but I won't bore you guys with adjusting spring tension tonight. I will look at that later this week before I race. All right, so these are done. So these are my 2 primary spec racer cars, although like I said, I don't think we're running these cars this week, but we are running, this car runs really good. This is my 1 hood system car. Doesn't have an end bell. This has the brushes going in from the side, but well, Larry, it's not that I like them the best. There are only certain classes of racing that you're allowed to use this. So, if you're following like Hopper rules, ceramic super stock, you could run silly sponge, and the ceramic magnets are weaker than the Palmer magnets that are in these spec racer cars. I'll give you an example. Where's what I had my downforce meter out here. So my ceramic super stock, and this car is a little bit on the higher end for ceramic super stock because I have it pretty low. But, oops. It's pulling like 125. Most of my ceramic super stocks, I think, are closer to like 115. Yeah. And by comparison, these Palmer level 4 magnets in the spec racer are closer to like a 150. You have to run silicone slip-on tires in spec racer class. You could run whatever tire you want and whatever gear you want in ceramic super stock. I'm running 722 gear. I like these gray tires. I get these from Steven. I think he gets these from Quicker Engineering. I don't remember exactly where he gets these gray tires, but I do like them. I have the purple RPM slip-on tires as well. Viper albinos are okay, but they chip and break easy. You gotta be careful with them. And these silly sponge tires are great, but they're expensive too. Like a set of these tires is like over $10, $10-12 just for the tire. I mean, it comes on the rim. It's already molded onto the rim, but you're paying $12 or more for a set of tires, and they don't last very long. You could already see the shiny silicones where I've got a few races in on this car already. So anyway. So that's my primary spec racer, which I'll definitely be running Saturday. This is my backup car. This runs very close to my primary car. I usually don't lend that out. I'll lend out my number 3 or number 4 car because I don't want to give somebody a car and have them beat me with my own car, which I've had happen actually. This car I've already cleaned up. So all of my, oh no, I didn't clean the fuse on this one yet. So you can see that these are not really, there's not really any deep grooves in there. I'm going to just pop these off and give them a quick cleaning. Try not to lose my springs. This is a nice armature. This armature is actually from RPM, and the whole thing is epoxied, like all the windings, not just the tips where it's attached to the comm, but the whole thing is epoxied. It's a good armature. I like that armature. They're hard to get though. They're always out of stock. Well, that armature actually blew. The wire broke, so I don't know if it being epoxied would have saved that or not. But hey, told you, I might have, Snuggy. I mean, that armature was epoxied on the ends, but not the whole thing. But that wasn't a cheap armature. That was a 20 something dollar armature that went bad on me after not even one race. I wasn't too happy about that. Yeah, so see a little bit of a groove, but this is still usable for at least one more race. Especially if it's a car I donate to somebody. I'm going to give them brand new pickup shoes. Chilly? What do you mean? It's 61 degrees here in the West Palm Beach area. I know. Don't rub it in, right? You guys probably hate hearing us Florida guys talk about our nice weather this time of year. Okay. Yeah, my daughter lives in Clearwater. Well, Clearwater area. Like off of Gulf to Bay. All right. Oh no, this is actually my backup car. This is my number 2 car. Oh wait, forgot to oil it. Dang it. These Fusions are pretty easy to oil. I mean, you got the front bushing right there, and the back bushing is pretty easy to get to as well. You don't even have to take the magnet clip off. So I like that. A little oil on the gears here. A little dab in here. And the rear axle. axle where it snaps in. Yeah, this is a Wizard Fusion N-Bell car. I like that body. You know, there's something about flames. How can you not like flames, right? Yeah, Slot Car League of Champion. I only run 7-tooth on all of my cars. All my Vipers, all my Fusions, all my Super 7s, they're all 7-tooth. The crown gear I change around, but the pinion is always 7. Well, the hood system is great. It's just a lot harder to tweak and work on. I only have one hood system car, and it is by far my fastest Fusion. So, but I bought this car used actually from Steven at Rooster Racing. He had some guy who had several Fusions that he was selling for him. But this car runs really strong on the dyno and on the track. I've been wanting to play around a little bit more with the hood system. I want to try and build my own. I got to get around to ordering some parts. The nice thing is they work in either, you know, the chassis you could put either an N-Bell or a hood. So I could take this whole little electrical system or motor assembly out and pop it in any, you know, vice versa. It's not like it's a different chassis. So if I wanted to convert some of these to the hood system, I can, although you need a different armature. The armature in an N-Bell does not work in the hood system. Have what upside down? My cars? I always have my cars upside down. Even when they're in their case, they're upside down. God's waiting room. I think that's a silly saying. Well, it's a great waiting room, and I'm more than happy to wait here for a long time. All right, these are all pretty much good to go, I think. Let's take a look at, getting a little hot in here. Getting a little warm in here. I think I had to put my air conditioning on. Hold on, there we go. I know, John, I'm just messing with you. Hey, Roy. Five above. No, that's too much for me. So I have two level 10 modified cars. These are, and all my Fusions have hot stock balanced armatures in them. These are also hot stock balanced armatures. This car with this NXX arm, turbo arm. Things hitting around a 6 on the dyno. That's kind of hard to do. So definitely plenty fast. just going to oil and give this a quick cleaning. This car I really haven't run a lot. So it's fairly, you can see it's plenty low. You can see the marks on my magnets there. I don't even have the end bell in advanced timing. I could probably get this thing to go even faster. This car does have a silver electrical system, silver pickup shoes, silver BSRT, level 10 springs. Actually, I have a different, no, I think level 9s, sorry. And silver pickup shoes. This is an NSX turbo arm that I got from Hardin Creek in this car. Most of my Fusions, I actually run Wizard's arm because I think they're pretty decent and they're a reasonable price. Wizard's hot stock arm is like $15 for a balanced epoxied arm. I have some armatures from Rooster Racing. This is one of Stevens Joker arms. It's got the green and like purple colored stacks. Yeah. But yeah, this armature, yeah, this was like a $35 armature. Could have bought a whole car for how much I paid for that armature. Give these pickup shoes a quick little cleaning. Silver pickup shoes the silver is already almost worn off. That's why I don't really use them that often. I mean, the silver coating plating wears off, and then you have basically a bronze or brass or copper, whatever the hell it's made out of. What are they, brass? I forget. These are a 9 that I have in this level 10 car. Usually I run 9s in my spec racer. I run 8s in my ceramic super stock cars. But then I'm always tweaking the springs anyway, so I don't really know if that matters that much, what number they are, because I'll use my spring tension meter here and to get, sometimes I spread the spring out a little bit, give a little more tension. I think I'm curious to see what spring tension this car is actually at. That's pretty good. I usually like my Vipers to be anywhere close to 20 or more, and it's a little higher on that side. So in theory, I could tweak this side a little more or bring down this one a little bit. But did you guys see that new pin that Viper has? It's like an offset pin. It pushes the pin even like further back, apparently. I've been thinking about picking one up to see if it really makes much of a difference. I like this body. And this is a cool looking body. Okay. This is my other level 10 car. This is an armature I got off of some performance shop on eBay. Actually, they sold like a whole kit. Had the traction magnets, the end bell. Actually came with ball bearing bushings, but I don't have ball bearing bushings in this car. This is, I think, a 2.5 ohm armature, actually. Wow, 34 people? You guys don't have nothing to do tonight but watch me play around with the... Whoa, that's not good, actually. I do have ball bearings in here. That's illegal. Oh boy. How did that... I'm gonna have to change that. Dang it. I didn't realize that this car still had... At least I'm pretty sure you can't have... Yeah, I know you can't have ball bearings in modified class. Let me look up the Hopra rules. Yeah. All right, I gotta rework this car. Because this has ball bearing bushings in it and a ball bearing end bell. I could see the ball bearings in there. No wonder why that car runs so good. I did have a car that, this car had, I think it had level 35 Neo magnets in it at one point with a higher rear end. So I had this car really set, it was like a Neo type car. I converted it to a modified when my club started running. I had 3 of them. I must have grabbed the wrong one out of the drawer. Actually, let me look at my other car. Yeah, this is a 2 ohm NSX ARM car with level 35 Neo, 275 rear. That's how that, and this has ball bearings in it. This car used to be set up the same way. Oh no, this one Yeah, this is the one that doesn't have ball bearings. So this is the car I need to use as my backup car, not this one. See, I'll have to play around with that at a later date this week before the end of the week. My table is a 4 by 14 foot table. It was the biggest I could fit in my garage. I would have loved to have had a 4 by 16, but I just really couldn't. I couldn't fit it, unfortunately. All right. Well, my primary modified car is ready to go. So this is my version of the car that I sent to Scott. So I guess I can call this my Captain America car. This is also a Viper. This has a Viper hot stock armature in it, actually 6 ohm armature, level 4. This has the max traction magnets. Doesn't have the nice fancy aluminum wheels like the one that I sent Scott, but still runs very well. Yeah, Larry. If you just Google Hopra rules or Hopra, however you want to say it, you'll get right to their site. You can actually be a member, join. But the rules are free to download. But they come out every year for there's new ones coming out for 2025 that actually haven't come out yet. So the rules weren't available. I have them download. I have the 2024 rules downloaded to my phone, but I'm curious to see what they might have changed for this year, so I'll have to compare last year's rules to the 2025. Whoa, look at that. Look at that pickup shoe. I just realized this car must have suffered a pretty bad crash the last time I raced it. This Neo car. That pickup shoe is bent to hell. Oh, poor thing. Is which car for sale? My wow, this thing is like wedged. Holy crap, I did a number on this thing. It like pushed past, how the heck did that happen? It pushed all the way past the hanger. Is this car for sale? I should give this car as a giveaway. No, I'm not giving this car away, guys. Sorry. But I have been thinking about building a few cars similar to this that I was thinking of doing an auction, just to see everybody's level of interest, and so I might actually build 1 or 2 custom Vipers and put them up for auction. Well, these cars aren't cheap in this configuration. Yes, we have the car has to pass tech, so they have their downforce meter that they use. They have a setup block that they use like this, so they'll run your car through it. So everybody turns, like, let's say we're running ceramic super stock. Everybody will give their cars to the guy that's doing tech, and he'll check the downforce. He'll He'll run it through the block, make sure it's the right width. He'll look at the gears, make sure you're not using gears you can't be using. That's about it, though. They don't go super, super crazy. So this car with a body like this is going to be over $100, probably closer to 115. So yeah, not cheap, unfortunately. But the armature is about $15 to $20 upgrade. These max traction magnets are a $10 upgrade. The independent front end is another $10 upgrade. So, you know, 10, 20, you're looking at almost $40 just in those parts. I think you can get a stock Viper chassis for like 50 bucks, $55, something like that, without a body. Yeah, well, look at the size of this car. You would think it would be less than a 1/24th scale. I don't know. I guess maybe things that are small cost more. I don't know. I'm gonna have to cut this pickup shoe off. I can't. I don't want to ruin this hanger. Although I might have already ruined this hanger. Let me see if I can get this pickup shoe off and put a new shoe on there. It's like wedged. It's wedged way past where it should clip in the hanger, and it's completely smashed. I have no idea how that got like that. Hey, Jack. That couldn't be from my driving, you know. All right. I have completely mangled that end and got that out. All right. Man, what a mess. I don't know if that hanger's still good or not. Guess we'll find out. Yeah, like a Viper V-Spec car, level 4 car, 6-on car. So yeah, I might build a couple higher end Vipers and see if anybody's interested in. I'll do an auction. They won't be cheap though, so you'll have to prepare yourself for that. That's why I don't know the demand for a car like that really. I could tell you it would definitely be a great running car. right? Well, that's what I try to tell people, especially if you have a home, small track. You don't need a car that fast. A stock Viper is already a very fast car. But if you do, if you are a speed junkie and you do want to go really fast and have a little bit better handling, then this car, plus it looks good, you know. All right, this car is back in action. I fixed the pickup shoe. So I'm not sure what happened there, but glad I saw that before I tried running it again, because it wouldn't have ran too good in that condition. You don't clean your pickup shoes, Greg? A full scale race car. All right. Let's run a few cars. What do you guys think? Play around with this brake setting I was talking about. So like I used to run my brake all the way down here, and you can see, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the, when the trigger hits that post, no, I'm sorry, when that side hits that post, that wire down there is hooked up to the brake pot, but that engages full braking. But this brake pot still has an effect on how the car drives, even when you don't come all the way off the trigger. That was what I had the misconception of, was that the brakes only worked when you came off the trigger. But that's really not true, especially in the higher setting. You can just kind of feel a difference in how the car runs. Like a big difference, actually. Sorry, let me adjust this camera here for you guys. Is that good? Can you see okay? All right, so I'm gonna run this Captain America car with the brakes down to where I used to keep them around 3. My sensitivity at 3. And then I'm gonna set my controller to where I'm thinking it needs to be set, now that I realize that brake setting makes more of a difference. Oh, see, I just sent the car off the track already. I really shouldn't try to go too fast. This car just ran a 2.5 second lap. It was pretty quick for a 6-zone Viper. But now if I turn the brake up more to around 6, I can feel that. I can just feel a difference. It feels like it's stuck to the track better. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Then I could turn my sensitivity up a little more to counteract the braking effect that's happening. 2.4 seconds. So I've actually just run a faster lap, even though the car feels, I don't want to say slower. I don't know. It's hard to grasp other than my mind is blown right now. I really, it's amazing. Like the car does not come off. Well, that was full speed going down the straightaway. But it's a big difference. I'm going to run this modified car, which I could not keep on the track with the brakes turned down. Ow. I hate when I crash this car. It sounds very loud. And now if I turn the brake up to like 8, put the sensitivity around 4 or 5. Right, that was a little crazy. I actually went full throttle there. I don't know what I was thinking. Still have to kind of brake. 2.3 seconds. It just becomes so much more controllable and drivable. 2.30. It makes the car a lot more drivable. Pretty amazing. If I only knew this sooner. Yeah, but I just was under that misconception that the brakes only worked when you came off the trigger all the way. And that's not the case. The brake, when you turn the, I guess, if you have the brake at a lower setting, like 2, 3, 4, you don't notice it as much. But when you start bringing the potentiometer up to 6, 7, 8, you can feel it changes the way the car handles and it becomes more controllable. I don't know, it's hard to explain it. Other than it's a good thing. Because everything I've read about brakes said that you got to come off. It's when the trigger is released and it's that pad is touching that post. Now that does engage full braking. So when you're coming down the straightaway, you can definitely tell when you come off. If you have the brake all the way on, it stops on a dime. Most of the time, you're not going to stop on a dime, so you can adjust the brake. That's why I would put it down to like 3 or 4. And I would try and come all the way off the trigger, thinking that's the way to do it. But which sometimes you still do have to do that. But turning it up higher, if you're having trouble keeping your car on the track, turn the brakes up. That's what I've discovered. 17K. I'm not even sure what you guys are you talking about, like real racing. Let's see how this car runs. So this is that Neo car. I just did a 2.01, almost under 2 seconds. This car is ridiculously fast. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So this is a Fusion Spec Racer class car. Turning the brakes to 6 and the sensitivity to 6, this car practically drives itself now. But yet I'm still pulling 2.5 seconds. Man. I mean, obviously you still have to slow down on your tight turns. Doing my glasses. Here we go. Yeah, definitely don't want to run a light-bodied car that fast on this track. Speaking of NASCAR, I just got some of my new bodies from J Jap, some new NASCAR bodies, because my Super 7 NASCAR set is really starting to take a beating, so I'm gonna replace some of these bodies with these new ones. I gotta trim these. I did put this one on. This is not really white. I'm a little disappointed. In the photo, this looked white, but it's almost like a light gray color. But the body that I had on this car was just a wreck. It's like falling apart. So, actually, probably better that it's a little bit darker than white, because it'll show up better on my white track. But you still know it's the white lane. It's obviously not blue, yellow, or red. So, this blue body is really taking a beating too. I probably should change this out, although I really like the metallic blue look on this car. But I have this new blue body, AC Delco. I already have Budweiser on here, so I could either use this Wheaties or this other new Bud car. I don't really have a new yellow body. Didn't have any all yellow cars, so I picked up this one. But this yellow body, this Pennzoil, is not in too bad a shape. This one's still pretty decent. But Yeah, I need to trim the wheel. Most of the cars I get from Jay are, I mean, he trims and pins them for you, but they're never perfect. The wheels always rub. So, like here, let's take a look at some of these other bodies and see how bad they are. These are supposed to be trimmed and pinned for a Super 7. Yeah, pretty much, just so that you're not sitting on the tires. I mean, I'm sure leaving it like this for a short period of time is not really going to do any harm to it, but it's just a habit. And guys look at you funny at the track if you don't turn your cars upside down, so it just becomes something you do. So this is a brand new out of the package body. Let's see how it looks. You see how it looks on a Viper and on a Super 7. It's supposed to be pinned for both. They're supposed to be the same. The stock pins definitely fit. Yeah, so you can see. Let me get a little more light here. You can kind of see the front of this wheel well is touching the tire. The front one's not too bad, actually. Sometimes they're actually pretty good. That one's a little close on the front tire there. That's definitely very close. I just widen them a little bit with my Dremel. Let's see how this new Budweiser body looks. Because I kind of like the darker red color. I usually do trim the pins a little bit because they are a little too long for this Lexan body clip that is on these Super 7s. You kind of see that the pins the body doesn't sit flush. Yeah, I mean, look at that. It's definitely touching right there. So I got to widen that spot. That side's not too bad, but the whole thing could be widened. I just don't want to even risk it touching. This you could see he trimmed out too far back here, but it's kind of touching towards the front. This side, that one's perfect. So like that's got good space all around the wheel. But that's pretty bad. You also want to make sure the body's not sticking down too low on the sides. So I always have to do a little trimming with these bodies. And I use this little sanding wheel in my Dremel. Now, the curved scissors you use as a starting point if you're cutting your own, like completely trimming a body, but to get that like really good circle, you got to use like a Dremel. So I am going to take a little bit off here on the whole top, basically, of this. You can kind of see that's not really round there. And then I just basically go in here, take a little bit off. You don't want to take too much off, obviously. It's a little bit of trial and error. Take a little bit off at a time. You could obviously take more off, but you can't put it back on once you once you've taken it off. So yeah, like see, that's still got a long way to go on that. That side's getting better. I need to trim a little bit more of the front here. This one side will probably be good now. Yeah, so I took enough off the front here, so that's, sorry, my phone's not. Yeah, so that's got clearance now. Still a little close on the top, so I'm gonna have to take more off there, and definitely more off there. I think he kind of pinned this a little too low. You can see by how high up that pin is. But yes, Jay, their bodies are from Jay. You mean one of these bits? I guess anything round would kind of work. I bet you that guy would probably work pretty good. Well, the NASCAR bodies were 5 for $100, but normally he sells his bodies 3 for $50. So that's actually not a bad deal. That's about the best price I found of anybody that does Lexan bodies, 3 for $50. Most guys want closer to $30 just for one body. And they look beautiful, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they're not worth that, but I buy these bodies to race them and crash them, so I really don't want to spend a lot of. I try to spend as little as I can on these Lexan bodies because I know I'm going to race them and crash them. So I'm not, I don't buy them to look that great. As long as they look okay. Getting there. Still just need to take a little bit more off the top on both rear tires. Also, the pin job is not the greatest. I mean, there's no support on the inside, and it's just a thin piece of tape. It'll last you a race or two, but if you take the body off and on a number of times, the pin's definitely going to start pushing the tape off. All right, we got clearance now. Could probably go a little bit more, but at least it's not touching. Same thing with that side. So take it for a quick lap, see how it sounds. Sounds good. Nothing rubbing. It's interesting. There's like 3 different color shades of red here. This is a little bit of an orange tint, a lighter red and a darker red. I like that darker red actually. Though this body that I just threw on the floor, this red body's not horrible. I've already fixed it. Like when I redo the pins, I'll put this reinforced tape on the inside. I usually use a thicker, better tape on the outside too, so it really holds the pins on good. Yeah, like on this car, I repinned this with better tape. Draw a line on it. Draw a line on what? Where you need to cut, you mean? Yeah, I think the next bodies I get, I might actually have them send them to me, not even cut or trimmed at all. I'll just trim and pin them myself. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess I could put a line, but it's so there's such a small amount that you have to trim that I don't know, I just kind of keep going till it. I could probably make this side a little rounder. This is coming down kind of straight there, although it's clearing the tire. So anyway, but my my race bodies that I really run at the club, I try and make sure I have these trimmed and pinned really well. Trim the line away. Yeah, that makes sense. Anyway, I'll play around some more with I guess I'll leave this new red body on here. Looks good. Although I should probably trim the pins a little bit. I think I will, so they're not sticking out. Sorry guys, I stole the light so I could see what I'm doing because I don't want to cut the pin too much. I really take just a tiny bit off, so I trimmed that bottom side. I don't know about anti-brake, but I think it's like semi-brake. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it definitely gives the car, when I get up into that higher brake range, I could just feel the car runs different. It's just feels more under control. It's not as loose. Anti-lock brakes. Yeah, it's hard to. You just have to kind of experience it. It's hard for me to explain, other than it makes a difference. It really does. Because when I race with my club, these top guys, I'm like, how do they not fall off? I'm like, how are they going so fast? I know they're good racers, but it's just like that's why they know how to set their controller to work right. I remember one of the guys telling me, he's like, no, it does make a difference. It's just, I'm like, I don't know. I guess I just didn't listen. I don't know if it has any effect on the motor or the armature or anything like that, or if it puts more stress on it. I guess I'll find out if my car doesn't survive the race. See you, Mayor. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Mark. Yeah, so I think I'm going to order one or two stock Vipers and the parts to hop them up a little bit and see where I'm at parts wise and auction them off if anybody's interested. Put all these cars over here for now. No, I don't think it causes the motor to draw. What the brakes does is it actually puts current. It puts resistance across that 100 ohm pot is literally right across the rails, and it's shorting the motor out. So it counteracts the. At least when you come completely off the trigger and the brakes engage, it counteracts the action of the motor, like the motor generating its own power when there's no power applied because of the electromagnetic motor. So it's basically like shorting out the motor. I don't think it really is causing it to draw more current. At least from what I read on braking. If you look at the wiring diagram, the brake circuit is right across the rails. So I have to swap out this car, has the correct bushings. I'm gonna put the max traction magnet, level 10 max tractions from this car. These are RPM stiff tires. These black tires are from RPM. These hubs are from these are 260 hubs. Seem to be a good sweet spot for the level 10 car. I think it brings this to like a 428, yeah, 430, 428. Because these tires are sized on a 250, they come in at 418. So they'd be all the way down here. On a 260, it's 428. Don't really want to go much lower than that with my Vipers. Some guys do. Yeah, exactly, Mike. What was I saying? One of these cars has ball bearings. This one. So I'm gonna steal these magnets. Put them in this car. Make it legal for modified class. I guess I should take these other magnets out first before I try to put new magnets in. These have that little wing, like the wider edge, that trailing edge. Gives you a little bit more downforce, a little more handling on the turns. That's how they advertise it anyway. Hey, Blue Oval. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, this car just doesn't, I don't know, doesn't run that great for a 2.5 ohm armature. This thing's only pulling like a little over 4 on the dyno. I don't know if it's the end bell or what, or something with this armature. That's why I was running that other car. Been on for an hour and a half. I don't know if you guys are bored. Let me know if you guys are bored. But I'm gonna check something with this car. Let me take this thing apart. Brushes have good, looks like a pretty good marking on the comb. It's a little dirty. Looks like it could be cleaned. If you guys can see that or not. I think I glued this. Oh no, it came off. Okay. Put this in my little handy dandy adapter that I got from Steve. Now I can get my ohm meter out and measure that armature. It's kind of like a helping hand for armature. I don't know if you guys will be able to put the ohm meter in the screen. I'll have to just tell you what the ohm meter says. You'll have to take my word for it. 3.6. Interesting. 4.1. Wow, what am I? Oh, what's going on with my leads here? They're pulling 2 ohms. What could that be? Yeah, wow. Just touching the leads together, I'm pulling like 1.3 ohms. So I have to subtract that from my reading. Oh, there we go, 0.9. Hmm. 3.5. Yeah, minus about 1, so 2.5. It's supposed to be. This is supposed to be a 2.5 ohm armature. 3.4. 3.4. Yeah, minus the 0.9. What are we getting? Yeah, about 1 ohm when I touch my. So it is ohming out as a 2.5 ohm armature. It just doesn't run as strong or as fast as I would expect it to for that low of an ohm armature. See if I can do some tweaking of this end bell, see if I can get this car to run a little better. I'm just polishing up this tom a little bit. Make sure there isn't any gunk in between these. Plates here. Definitely cleaner. Put my little spacer back on. So I have a Teflon spacer and a metal spacer. Let's see how this. I bought this little end bell tweaking tool from J Products. Try and use this, see if it tweaks the end bell any better for us. So you basically you pop your, oh, actually you put it in here. I think. Am I doing this wrong? Oh no, you're supposed to put it in the bottom. So you have a moderate side and a maximum. I'm gonna set it up for maximum. because I'm a maximum kind of guy. So you want to make sure the pins are on either side of the brush arms there. Then apparently you take this and it comes with these kind of directions you could follow. But you pop this on and then you turn it down, and the closer you go to this post, I guess the more of a adjustment it will give the arm as far as advancing the timing. Oh, that looks kind of jacked up. Uh-oh. I think I overdid it. Yeah. So you can see it actually advances the timing, so the brushes are not sitting on top of each other anymore like a stock end bill. All right, let me put my rear bushing and pinion gear back on. Definitely need to glue this pinion. Use some Loctite on this gear. It's loose. Let's put our little timing bracket on. I'm gonna put a little bit thinner spacer, Teflon spacer. This one's pretty thick. Not anti-lock brake. See if I can find a little bit thinner. I have a whole bunch of these little Teflon. I know you guys can't see that, but I have the OS3 All Pro Elite, the wiperless controller. Oh, these all look the same. I'm gonna try and find it. I think these are all close to 10,000s, these Teflon spacers. I used to have some thinner ones, but yeah, I don't know if I like the way that this end bell is looking. I think it's been over tweaked. But all right. Must be getting close to 9 o'clock because I'm getting tired. That's like my bedtime. Oh man, I lost the dot on the magnet. I don't know which one is which now. That's annoying. Is there a white mark on? Well, I can tell by, let's see, this goes in. This goes in this way. So this sticks to this magnet. So this would go on this side. And this one would go on this side. So this magnet should go on this side. I'm going to have to put a little white mark or silver mark. This goes here. All right, I think this is right. This should stick to this side, which it does. Okay. Oh, come on. I guess you could try and reverse the process. Although I've noticed with these arms, these end bells, once you tweak them too much, they get kind of messed up. Stinking thing. Oh, for crying out loud, look, I missed the rear bushing is not in where it needs to be. That's annoying. So try this again. Okay. All right, it's in. Yeah, you could check it against another chassis too, the magnet. Yeah. But I know these Max Traction, they only go in one way, so find the one that sticks to that, and that's the correct. They're set for high downforce. So. This is a Viper that I broke the bumper guard off on one side, so I just snipped it off so it doesn't have the protective guard around the pickup shoes like a Viper normally does. Look, this looks more like a BSRT chassis now. Took one too many hits and it actually cracked it. All right. Oh, that's even worse. 3.8. Yeah, I think that end bell is gonna have to be replaced. I might have cleaned the comm plates a little too much on this arm as well. It might not be true anymore. So I don't know. Definitely not running how a 2.5 ohm armature should be running. So, but it's getting late, and I don't feel like futzing with it anymore. But definitely not up to par. I might take the armature out of that other ball bearing car and change the bushings and use that armature in a new end bill. Maybe I'll go on later in the week and rebuild this car with you guys. But that's it for now. Been on for 1 hour and 59 minutes, so we're right at the 2-hour mark. Appreciate you guys hanging out that long. And I will definitely, if I don't chat with you guys before the race Saturday, I'll go on Sunday, do a post race analysis, let you guys know how I do Saturday with my new controller brake revelation. We'll see if that actually helps me. I think it will. I'm kind of looking forward to it. So yes, I will definitely let you guys know. But yeah, everyone have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I guess I'll probably be on tomorrow if Adam's on. I'll be stopping by to see what Adam's got going. And if Kenton's on Thursday, I'll be tuning in on Thursday. And I got the race Saturday, usually a long day. He's actually opening. Terry's going to be open at 8 a.m. First race isn't supposed to be till I think 11:30, so that's a lot of practice time. I probably won't be home till, I don't know, depends what time. I'm about 3 hours away from Terry, so if I get out of there by 5, I won't be home till 8. Probably get home just in time for Scott's show, but we'll see. It's a long day either way. All right, guys, have a good night. See ya.